More people working from home is slowing down some businesses.
LSU softball is gearing up for the start of their season.
And the LSU grad whose book ended up on a celebrity shelf.
All that and more. Newsbeat starts right now.
Tonight on Newsbeat, residents of a Baton Rouge neighborhood are fighting the placement of a new facility.
How LSU women's basketball has kept their winning streak all season.
And is spring around the corner, or is the cold here to stay?
All that and more. Newsbeat starts right now.
Tonight on Newsbeat, a homeowner is facing charges after shooting at an intruder.
The COVID-19 pandemic has students feeling left behind.
And today celebrates one of the world's most famous authors.
All that and more. Newsbeat starts right now.
Tonight on Newsbeat, one election code amendment is affecting student government campaigns.
Electric cars are on the rise, but what does this mean for the oil and gas industry?
And the gymnastics all-SEC team features some flying tigers.
All this and more. Newsbeat starts right now.
Good evening and welcome to Thursday Newsbeat. I'm Georgia Peck.
And I'm Alon Valdivieso. Thanks for joining us. LSU student government election season is in full swing, and each ticket is gearing up for campaign week. But one amendment to the election code is creating confusion. The problem was first recognized when not a single candidate invited the Club Go Greens public forum showed up in fear of violating election code. The recent judicial interpretation defines campaigning as, quote, actions with the primary intent to influence a vote or actions, which would include attending public forums. As a result, the new code is actively preventing the tickets from interacting with the student body prior to campaign week. This impacts not only the organizations, but the candidates as well.
In the middle of active campaign week, when candidates are worried about doing a plethora of other activities, asking them to go to 4 or 5 different public forums in 1 week would be absolutely absurd. And it would actually make it easier for the candidates and behoove the entire campus community to spread that out and allow for multiple public forums over multiple different weeks.
Raby says the Student Senate plans to adjust the amendment by specifying that public forums are not included in the limitations. The student government presidential and vice presidential debate will take place Monday, March 27th from 5:30 to 7:30 in the Journalism Building Holiday Forum.
A record-breaking number of students have shown interest in living on campus, and LSU may not be able to meet that demand. Reporter Isaiah Kirkland tells us what students can do if they don't secure on-campus housing.
Here at LSU, while the campus is large, as Housing puts it, there's simply not enough room to ensure housing for everyone on campus.
For new information and updates about on-campus housing, be on the lookout for any alerts from Residential Life about potential openings and changes in availability.
Living on campus has eco-friendly perks, a lot less driving. 27% of greenhouse emissions come from transportation, making it the leading cause of pollution. Reporter Haley Kennedy is live in the LSU parking lot with more on the advancements in technology to reduce that number. Haley?
That's right, Alon. I'm here now in the LSU parking lot where you might have noticed this thing while you're searching for parking in the morning. Now, this is actually an electric car charging station. And with Louisiana being such an oil and gas prominent state, I looked into how the rise of these could impact the jobs for others. Technology is growing and options to get from point A to point B are starting to expand. Rideshare apps like Uber are planning to go completely electric by 2030. Now, the CEO says that if the drivers do not drive an electric car, they won't be allowed on the platform. Reporting live for Tiger TV, I'm Haley Kennedy. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Haley. LSU baseball is gearing up for their first top 5 matchup this season. Sports reporter Jada Ferris has your Tiger Sports update after the break.
Good evening and welcome to Thursday Newsbeat. I'm Alon Valdivieso.
And I'm Georgia Peck. Thanks for joining us.
We have an update on the rape investigation of Madison Brooks, the LSU student who was killed after being hit by a car on Burbank Drive early on January 15th. Authorities say Brooks was raped prior to her death. Kavion Washington was released on bond Thursday from East Baton Rouge Jail and is being charged with third-degree rape. Washington is the third suspect out on bond following Kaysen Carver and Everett Lee, who are being charged with principal to third-degree rape. The unnamed juvenile suspect is still in jail waiting on a bond hearing. A press conference will be held Friday at noon at the City Parish Government Office. Tiger TV will be streaming the press conference live on our YouTube and Instagram. It's still unclear what information will be given, but we do know we will hear from both attorneys representing the 3 accused.
Following reports that Brooks and 3 of the suspects were underage drinking at Reggie's Bar in Tigerland, President Tate sent an email to students that received some backlash. The email states the university is taking action against establishments that provide alcohol to underage students. Some students are saying Tate is, quote, victim blaming and focusing on underage drinking rather than rape culture on campus. Tate's PR team provided Tiger TV with a statement regarding the email, stating, quote, President Tate's message Monday was directed at perpetrators and the establishments that enable them to weaponize alcohol against our students. Coming down hard on bars that are serving minors in our community is one of many strategies the president is proposing.
Although crime in Baton Rouge has been declining, the capital city's crime rate is still more than double that of the United States as a whole. And cases like Madison's and the still unsolved murder of Allie Rice have students and residents on edge. Residents have gathered and voiced their concerns for the recent trend. Many community groups like the Baton Rouge Community Street Team have even addressed what needs to be done. Community Street Team member Sateria Tate expresses their efforts in mitigating the issue.
We have leveraged credible messengers, which would be people that are from the community, to come into this program and work directly with the community at large to start.
Tate says they will continue their efforts as the year moves forward, as there is still work that needs to be done.
The LSU gymnastics team has made national headlines due to one of their athletes' success. Reporter Gracie Guyot tells us how the gymnast's rising fame is leading to rising safety concerns.
The LSU gymnastics team has had to overcome a lot of challenges in the beginning of their season.
LSU has increased some safety measures to ensure the team's safety both during and after meets. Dr. Poole wants to remind fans that these athletes are people and should be respected.
While Livy is taking the world by storm, Louisiana residents are preparing to face a different kind of storm. Hurricane season is just around the corner. Reporter Erica Howard is in the studio to tell us how the Louisiana Department of Insurance can help Louisiana residents facing hurricane damages.
That's right, Alon. With every hurricane season comes the stress of damaged property and financial burdens, but a new mediation act aims to relieve some of that stress.
With hurricanes in previous years, the voluntary mediation program was less known. The Louisiana Department of Insurance hopes that now that the act is statutory, that more residents will use the mediation service.
While the inevitable future of hurricane season brings large amounts of financial loss, this program could be a way to get residents back on their feet. When we come back, find out how LSU's women's basketball has relied on a full team effort for their historic start of the season. Don't go anywhere.
Good evening and welcome to Thursday Newsbeat. I'm Alon Valdivieso.
And I'm Georgia Peck. Thanks for joining us. The parents of LSU hazing victim Max Groover have been awarded $6.1 million by a jury in federal court Wednesday. Steve Groover, Max's father, says in a statement to Tiger TV, the verdict sends a message to students that even as bystanders, you will be held accountable for hazing. We will continue our efforts educating young adults on the dangerous consequences of hazing. A pledge class brother of Groover testified in court Tuesday about the events that occurred on the night of his death. He provided descriptions of a Bible study that the boys attended and spoke about the hazing rituals that led to Max's death. Groover was a freshman at LSU when he died due to alcohol-involved hazing. His BAC was a .495, more than 3 times the legal driving limit. Since Groover's death, Phi Delta Theta has not been back on LSU's campus.
A fight consisting of nearly 200 people occurred at an East Baton Rouge alternative school Wednesday. The brawl in Brookstown resulted in 10 people ages 16 to 18 being arrested. 3 of them received a felony charge of battery on a police officer. 1 police officer sustained a broken hip and head lacerations. Reports say authorities responded to a disturbance on the school's courtyard at 8:15 a.m., a call that is said initially started with a fight between 2 female students. The fight quickly escalated into a large brawl that included both students and parents. Videos circulating the internet show not only the students fighting, but several instances of unnecessary police force as well, leaving residents of the area concerned.
Yeah, police everywhere, man. License, like, man, SWAT team out here. Like, I'm saying, like, these kids, man, I'm a veteran, bro. I'm a disabled veteran. And I ain't see that in combat. It's kind of quiet today, so I hope everything go back down and simmer down and get back so people get their education. That's how I look at it, man. I've been here 20 years, bro. And
outrage around the incident has drawn the attention of several civil rights groups, including the NAACP of Louisiana and Baton Rouge, hoping to once again restore the peace in the community.
An LSU student's family home in Gina, Louisiana caught fire and burned to the ground last week, taking almost all physical memories and generational heirlooms with it. I found out how the tragedy caused both the Gina and LSU community to come together to show support during this time of need.
Ashes, the metal framework, and a few pots and pans are all that remain of LSU junior Grace King's family home.
If you're interested in supporting the King family, visit Grace's GoFundMe page by clicking on the link on our website.
An invasive species has been slowing down the production of rice and crawfish in the industry for years. Reporter Mattia Carroll is in the studio with more on how crawfish farmers are dealing with the issue.
That's right, Alon. Crawfish prices aren't the only thing invading the industry this season. Since 2018, a prominent problem has been affecting the rice and crawfish industry.
If you're taking a walk around LSU lakes, you might spot these small pink eggs. On the outside, they look harmless, but looks can be deceiving.
Richard says the community can help the stop of apple snails growing by knocking the eggs off with a stick and into the water. For Tiger TV, I'm Mattia Carroll. Now back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Mattia. With spring break coming up, students only have two things on their mind: how they plan on surviving Himes Testing Hall and how many swimsuits they really need to pack for the beach. Reporter Erica Howard talked to students about their spring break plans.
From the Keys of Florida to the Gulf Shores of Alabama, LSU students are no stranger to a spring break trip. The Lending Tree found that of those students who take a spring break trip, 43% of them will head to a beach. So I went out to the quad to find out how our Tigers are spending their break.
If you decide to stay in town for the break, check out some of the many local shops and restaurants your capital city has to offer. When we come back, we're talking women in sports for Women's History Month. Trinity Johnson has your Tiger Sports Update.
Don't go anywhere, Tigers.